I think the final topic, Mina and Nicky, going forward is, can Inter continue this? Is this the start of their own dynasty, like we saw with Juventus winning 9 straight? I'm not saying that any team is going to win 9 straight again. I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest, in our lifetimes, that we see this sort of dynasty go over for a decade. But is now Inter the team that everyone else looks at and thinks, how do we stop this?
I hope we don't have another team do 9 straight. I'm sorry, it's not about any individual team. I think it's a less interesting league when one team is winning 9 leagues straight. It's impressive. Don't let me ever be misunderstood on that. What Juventus have done for the last 9 years is incredibly impressive. I don't want to hear any of the sort of boring stuff people like to say about, oh, other clubs weren't good enough. If you win for 9 years straight, it's because you're bloody good. I'm sorry. That's just all there is to it. You can't do that unless you are consistently running your club in an extremely, extremely impressive way. And Juventus deserve all the praise in the world for that. But the drama happens when things are not clear cut, when there is jeopardy, when there's different teams all fighting together. And Serie A is always at its best when we have at least a few of the old Sette Sorelle, the big clubs, the Seven Sisters, showing up and doing their bit at the top of the table. So I would hope it's not going to be 9 years in a row. Do I think that Inter have a really good chance to start next season as the favourites? Yeah, they might. If Conte is still there, and Juventus, I would guess we're going to have a managerial change, and every other club realistically is starting from a position behind them. Milan have shown what they can do, but I don't think anyone currently looks at that squad and thinks it's stronger player for player than Inter's. They have to resolve whatever's gone off the boil for them in the second half of the season. They have to make sure they're not going to be Ibra dependent next season, because with the best one in the world, he is a year older. The likes of Lazio and Atalanta, even Napoli, although Napoli are closer, they have got a bit of a ground to cover in terms of their budget, and Atalanta even more so if they're going to overcome Inter. So Inter probably are going to start next season as favourites, depending on what happens this summer, because who knows? We've already been very surprised in the last few days by some news that we're going to talk about soon. But yeah, I think this should be the beginning of something to build on. And of course, the other thing that depends on it is the assumption, which is an assumption we should never get too comfortable in, that Antonio Conte isn't going to turn around at some point and go, all right, well, I've done this now, I'll go off and do something else.
Yeah, it was interesting, actually, the fact that when he was talking about it, he said, we'll see. He didn't definitively say, I'm definitely here next season.
He doesn't like to, does he?
Look, I understand, Zidane does that too, and I don't understand why people like to leave you on tenterhooks, but I don't know, whatever works for you. Gattuso doesn't like to renew his contract because he wants to prove himself every year. I'd be like, sign me up 10 years, I'll take the money. But anyway, I guess they deserve to be a team that can open a dynasty. But I agree with you that obviously I am a Juventus fan, so I did enjoy the last 9 years. But it did get a little bit boring. And I did feel like also it loses its flavor. Even as a Juventus fan, winning something all the time, it's almost like it's not good enough anymore. They have to win everything before it becomes interesting. And so when you have to fight for something a little bit more, then you understand its value. And I think this is what's so important about and this season and what we've learned from this season. I'm interested to see what happens with Juventus. Obviously, we know what's happened with Roma. I want to see who Napoli or what they decide to do over the summer. But I do like having an injection of cash in each team. I would like more money to be in Serie A so that things are just that bit more interesting and we're not dealing with, Crotone sides versus, Juventus sides. I don't want money to be such a huge factor. I just wish everyone has it, But I do like that Milan has started a wonderful project. I love the management right now of Milan. I love the management right now of Inter. And I feel like they, especially the sponsorship deals, the work that they've done behind the scenes, changing the logos, trying to introduce a lot more internationals, the backroom staff, everything they've done is an example to follow. So for them, they really do deserve this, and I feel like they deserve to be considered as the favorites next season. I think good management, Sassuolo being another one, always deserve to be up there.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.